We go next to the Western Cape and monitor the fires that have been raging there in the Breede Valley and Witzenberg, which by yesterday were still burning out of control. Firefighters also battling blazes in Wolseley that has raged on for a couple of days now as well. Let's get the latest for you and what the impact of the fires in the Cape Winelands district continues to wreak. And we are joined by Jo-Anne Otto, who's spokesperson of the Cape Winelands District Municipality. Jo-Anne, good evening to you and welcome. Thank you very much for being with us. Just share with us a status update as of tonight about the damage that you've witnessed, particularly in the Winelands region, and just what that number might be sitting at in terms of impact.
Hi, thank you very much. So today we started very optimistically and we were really hoping to make great progress. But by 10 o'clock this morning, the northwesterly had come up and just undid a lot of work. And the only area where we made some gains was on the Elandsberg side of the fire, where we managed to shrink that fire line quite a bit. But the area of Bainskloof and Slanghoek are very concerning. The fire was spread rapidly and pushed by winds, moved far faster than what we were expecting. And unfortunately there we lost 4 structures at the Steenbok Park Reserve. And then from there the fires continued to move into the area called Tweede Tol. We have a second fire which we've been reporting on, which is up at the Fairy Glen Nature Reserve. And that fire we also made good progress on. And again, the wind has come up and unfortunately down into the valley we have a lot of flare-ups. They are being managed at the moment by ground teams and firefighter vehicles. So it's been a really challenging day and there's no indication that any of the fires will be contained today.
Well, and that must be really distressing news, of course, for the people in the area and businesses as well. And when you talk about just the human resource that's been deployed to manage all of this, you're talking about almost 200 people who comprise those firefighting units and those ground crews. Are there replenishments? I mean, just give us a sense of that cycle of these continuous, this continuous firefighting campaign in a context where, as you're sharing with us, new fires are breaking out all over the place.
Yes, so it's day 7 of this big fire, and crews so they work a 24-hour shift before being replenished by new crews. But the chopper pilots, for example, we've had five choppers, and they're working a full day from early in the morning until last light. And those are a little bit more difficult to replenish, so they're working full days. Everyone's getting a little bit tired, but there's still great optimism that we're going to beat this fire. Resources, at the moment there were, when I left, 14 vehicles on site driving up and down the fire lines. There are some fire lines that we simply cannot get to. They are really high in inaccessible areas. Some of the obstacles that we're facing are very uneven terrain, the extremely hot weather that we're facing, which has a huge impact on the temperature on the ground, and that mean that we need so much more water and so many more flights and so many more people to try and beat down that fire. Environmentally, there's been a great impact because a lot of the vegetation is indigenous. A lot of it was ready to burn, so it was an aged fire between 10 and 15 years old. But a lot of the vegetation is alien vegetation, and that hasn't been cleared in many years. So it's got a very high fuel load due to a lot of dead vegetation underneath, and it's just proving to be a really difficult fire, despite the resources we have, despite the fact that we are well skilled. It's proving to be a really difficult fire.
And it's just devastating to watch. As you say, in some cases, it can be natural and probably needed for the environment. In others, it just translates into massive agricultural damage. I think, just from reading the situation and some of the reports, the status reports over the last 6 or 7 days, what the firefighters and the crews have tried to do is keep it in that mountainous area above the agricultural land, because there's going to be an impact on those crops. We know already that, the Cape Winelands, in terms of agriculture, has already suffered several impacts due to load shedding. What are your stakeholders in the region saying about what this has meant for them in terms of production and a loss?
So at the moment is harvest time in the Cape Winelands, and farmers and landowners are doing all they can to assist firefighters to prevent fires from getting to their land. And so far we seem to have been quite successful. Obviously we have lost property and there has been some damage, but on what it could have been had that assistance not been there. And that means that, the farm owners and the landowners are assisting by making sure that they're opening gates, by making sure that they're alert to what's happening on their land. A lot of fire breaks have been made over the last few days, and even most farmers have some form of firefighting equipment on their farms, and even our agricultural workers have joined hands, and we all just working really hard to protect that harvest, to protect property, to protect lives, to protect livelihoods.
When we're showing picture to our viewers there, you see a number of animals as well. I'd like for you to just quickly share with us what the impact might have been on animals and creatures that live in that particular area. And also just to round off on causes of the fire, some of these natural, spontaneous, or is there foul play here?
Well, this is an interesting question. So firstly, on the animals in the Fairy Glen Nature Reserve have been protected and they are fine. And there was a lot of concern for that. We've also had a number of animals that we've rescued from farmland, and they're all fine. The wild animals, however, is a little bit more difficult. But we do know that in times of fire, wild animals tend to move out of the area almost before we even know about it. So that's been a good thing. And then furthermore, with regard to the the last question you had there.
What causes arson, foul play?
Yes, the causes. Well, 95% of fires are caused by human interaction. So whether it was children playing with matches out in the veld, or whether it was someone who perhaps made a fire, even if they made a braai or a fire in a designated area, the wind came up really suddenly, may have blown those coals alight again. At this stage, and we always say this, is fire services only arrive at a fire once the fire has started. So to speculate is very dangerous. And at this stage, we're just really trying to get that fire under control, and we're not speculating about how it occurred.
Well, Jo-Anne, thank you for joining us and giving us that update. Good luck to all the crews. Hopefully no fatalities or injuries. Just take care out there. Jo-Anne Otto is a spokesperson for the Cape Winelands District Municipality.